So this equates to two different energies for me in the tarot. It equates to the Fool for me in the tarot, because it's all about the earthworm comes out after the rainstorms have passed, and it's such a beautiful, gentle, sensitive energy. Like, that skin is very sensitive. It has 5 hearts, the earthworm does. So it's very well equates to the Fool, which is about new beginnings after the ending of a cycle, after the storms have passed. But there's also an energetic correspondence to the Page of Pentacles, which talks about, learning new things, starting on a new venture, having, an excitement around something that could have a long-term return, anything that has to do with like work or material investments or anything of the physical realm. So this is very positive to be getting for you guys to start with. And what's really interesting is, remember I saw Diana shooting her bow and hearing "you will make your mark." Tell me this isn't in the same shape of like an archery target. Shout out to anyone who has ever done archery. I grew up doing archery, so I, love it. That's very auspicious. Let's see what's going on for you guys for Libras for February. Oh my Lord. The Magician. I feel like I was just imbued with magical energy. Talk about you will make your mark. The Magician is all about thought plus desire equaling manifestation. This is you creating the world that you live in. This is you creating your given circumstances. This is the manifestation point. This is you in your full power, using all of the tools at your disposal to create your own reality. You will make your mark. And the Magician with the earthworm, stop, but don't stop. It's really good. See how the fox is about to pounce? That's what it feels like to me too. It's like you string back that bow and then that tension, and then letting the arrow go and trusting that it'll make its mark, right? It's like in The Hobbit when that guy has to like shoot the dragon, although I do not advocate the harming of any animals or dragons, but dragon was being very naughty, wasn't it? Releasing that like arrow and just making its mark and trusting it's going to hit. It's really cool. Ah, love it. Okay. So what's also interesting too is that we talked about how the Fool is related to the earthworm. The Magician comes right after the Fool. That's fascinating as well. What else is going on? Okay. Interesting. So we have the 3 of Swords here. So let's talk about this. So swords ruling the realm of, our mental mind, our thoughts, our communication. The 3 of Swords relates to a heart pain that is usually stems from the past, but this is about loss, right? If we think about the elephant, they're one of the few, if only, maybe the only, but definitely one of the few animals who actually mourn their dead. So there's an aspect here of mourning what has been, right in the middle of this energy of manifesting something new. So what's really interesting with this is when new things want to enter, sometimes old things must go. Have you ever noticed, and this is, please do not take this literally, but have you ever noticed that sometimes when someone dies is around the time that a baby's born, like endings and beginnings, it's not literal about your reading though, okay? Sometimes endings and beginnings are really back to back. And I'm kind of feeling that with this, but even if it's not a literal ending, it could be mourning a way of life or something that was, and knowing that something new is going to come, as a result of that ending, or something is being excavated or repurposed from the past as a point of a new manifestation or something new. But I feel like it's an ending and beginning that are kind of back to back. But it is a loss. It is a source of mental tension. Right in the middle of this newness, which often is the way. Have you ever heard it's like the rain clouds back there? When it rains, it pours. Sometimes it really does all happen at once, and it can be a bit like, really? All at once? Let's see what else is going on. 10 of Wands, all at once indeed, more stormy clouds. So this is, okay. So this aspect of Diana stringing back her bow, letting loose the arrow, and why I heard you will make your mark. I'm getting for all this, especially because this is a 10 of Wands, which is about a lot of effort, a lot of struggle. You could be moving homes, moving locations, or moving from one cycle to another, whether that's physically, a mental place, or emotional, whatever that may be. But this does denote to me, because of, what I saw with Diana, there's in the Magician here, there's something about trust and trusting that you may not see the returns of your efforts immediately, right? But sometimes you got to let loose that arrow and just trust that it's going to go on the path that you intend it to and that it's meant to. But this is about the closing of a cycle. It's maximum amount of effort. And whenever this comes up as well, I always want to say, don't be afraid to ask for help, whether that's from spirit, the universe, your guides, ancestors, or the people in your direct vicinity, really, saying, hey, can you help me with A, B, C, X, Y, Z? But it does feel like manifestation. But it's interesting because remember how I said that the earthworm comes out after the storms? And then we go from stormy clouds to actual rain. Interesting here. Let's get some clarifiers. Clarifier for the Magician. Two of Swords. I cannot tell you the number of times the Two of Swords has come out in this round of reading. So fascinating. Two of Swords is the heart and the head getting together for equal conference. So it's about taking a pause, a time out to really consider your next best steps before taking action around them. And then we have the action key here with the Magician. So yes, you're being asked to take some time to really pull your resources of your mind and your heart and go, okay, let me take the time, right, to access all of the information that is available to me so that I can move forward and have my best chance at success. Right? This could inform you about the best timing to do something, a creative solution to a problem, anything and everything, right? So you're just being asked to take that time, take that beat so that you know which tool you want to pick up first. And the next one, the next one, the next one. Three of Swords. Let's get a clarifier for these rainy skies. Okay, right. He was kind of peeking out. I was kind of wondering if he was going to show his face. So to clarify the Three of Swords, we have the Hermit. So Virgo energy, really brilliant here. So this star here in his lantern is the star from the star key Aquarius energy, right? So the Hermit is very much about wisdom, seeking counsel. But this is also about alone time, going within your own energy to seek your highest and best wisdom, right? This is about taking that time to be within yourself. See how he's standing on a cliff and looking through the light to see more clearly? I feel like this is saying with the Three of Swords, taking that introspection time within yourself to identify any pain, any source of pain from the past, right? That is not just keeping you from manifesting your highest and best good, but that wants to be released, right? We're talking about the end of a cycle here with the Ten of Wands. And if you are being prepared indeed for a new cycle with the Earthworm / the Fool / the Page of Pentacles, we want to first know what that is that wants to be released and then take steps to, okay, well, what am I hanging on to from the past that's not serving? What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of success or am I afraid of failure or whatever have you? Where's my room for growth and improvement? This is asking that you take the time, but it really feels like you're being asked to do a heart excavation. Really clear out anything and everything, because we have the Earthworm with the 5 hearts as well, to really clear out anything and everything that just belongs in the past and that is no longer serving you, right? Could even be coloring how you view your situation. But I keep hearing, you will make your mark. You will make your mark. I'm hearing that, trust and time for healing is being called for right now, right? Yeah. Clarifier for the Ten of Wands. Remember, the Hermit comes before the Wheel of Fortune. So assume the Hermit position in order to allow the wheel to turn in your favor, right? One comes before the other. Boom, the Fool. Remember, we're talking about the Fool with the Earthworm, the Fool to clarify the Ten of Wands. So we're talking about the ending of one cycle so that a new one can begin. Were we not talking about how endings seem to, a lot of the times, be back to back with a new beginning? Births, deaths, endings, beginnings, loss, gain. Kind of happens that way a lot of the time. Then we have the Fool, which is a fresh, brand new start, new adventure, new cycle. Look how we go from carrying the maximum amount of load possible to just having this. Now, interesting bit of trivia. Remember how we said that the Fool comes before the Magician? Do you know what's in this sack right here? In this sack that the Fool carries are all the tools that the Magician needs. So the Fool goes from here and taking this risk and starting off on a new journey and morphs into the Magician, reaches into that sack and looks at all the tools at his disposal. And that's where you are. How amazing is that? So all this is aligning you to a new chapter, new start, new way of seeing things. But here's the thing. Here's the truth. In order to manifest a new reality, if we've not cleared out the old emotions, the old pain, the old points of views, the self-sabotage behavior, the self-perceived limitations, then landing ourselves into a new chapter and a new cycle with our old mentality is not going to serve us. That is why you're being asked to assume the hermit position and do some heart excavation so that you truly can be the Fool. Now, remember, the Fool is like the child, which is loves like they've never known hurt before and always has beginner's luck because they don't know what it's like to lose. So I feel like that's a direct comment on the work that you're being asked to do with the Three of Swords to prepare you for this new cycle. So when your arrow makes its mark, you are able to have a clear vibrational energy by which to manifest all of this beautiful good that you're about to manifest, right? The question is, do you want a clean slate to manifest it with, or do you want to still have all this work to do when the new comes in? Probably not, right? But up to you either way. But this is beautiful. This is beautiful. You have, and I feel like it's going to start happening this month. You are going to have, but last a lot longer than just this month. You are going to have the ending of one cycle where your plate it's like maximum amount of burden and storms to like sunny skies. Look, dark skies, a lot of burden, moving as slow as a snail because ouch, also associated with rain, into bright sunny skies, not a care in the world, carrying a light load, only what they need. This is what you're being asked to prepare yourself for through heart excavation, meeting of the heart and the head, and taking your time, assuming the hermit position. Let's get an oracle. I mean, it's just A, B, C, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, you know? Is that all? All right. Let's get an oracle from my Libras here. You know, that hermit energy is Virgo energy, and I'm really feeling you might have a Virgo in your vicinity that is some sort of support system for you, or a prominent Virgo placement in your chart, but I can feel it. There's a very strong Virgo presence here. Okay, you might want to watch the Virgo reading, actually, is what I'm getting with this as well. I feel like these two readings are holding hands, Virgo and Libra. I felt that for a couple of the readings this round, actually, for some reason. Readings holding hands. Oh, the Well Watcher. Wisdom, power of the divine. Wisdom, power of the divine. Do you know the Well Watcher, that when you look at what this says in the book, that this is all about, you know, are you expecting the worst, or do you have positive expectations and kind of like well watching, kind of going, oh God, like what's going to happen next? Am I going to fall down this well? What's at the bottom of that? It's that kind of like lack of trust in the, you know, greater powers that be. So it's interesting when it says wisdom, and then we have the Hermit key, which is all about wisdom, and then power of the divine, letting loose that arrow and trust that it's going to make its mark. This is beautifully encapsulating everything that we've already said. And I also want to point out with the owl here on her shoulder, the owl is very much about connecting you with your intuition, to see yourselves and others clearly, also to really click in with your clairvoyance and really properly assume that hermit position so that you can be made aware of anything and everything within you that is keeping you from being a vibrational match to what it is you desire, right? It's just about getting the information and then being in a receptive, available place to receive it, right? That's the thing. So the Well Watcher asks you to become very clear on how you can align your expectations to that of, you know, positivity, and also have that inner guidance and clarity that you can see all of the options available at your disposal and feel empowered by them as opposed to victimized, right? So it's brilliant. I'm also really drawn to the fact, actually, that this seems like a very old well, like it's about to collapse, like it's super, super rusty. Again, we're going back to that old and new. You're being asked to kind of like, let's dismantle this so that we can build a new one. It's really back to this like old and new cycles as well. But you absolutely have this. Again, I'm feeling that really strong Virgo energy. I keep wanting to call you Virgo, even though I know you're a Libra, so maybe do watch that reading. And with that being said, I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love reading your comments. I also have a favor to ask of you. If you could like, share, and subscribe this video, I would so appreciate it, because if you like, share, and subscribe, that enables me to turn around and bring you more content. So if you could do that for me, I will keep on doing this for you as much as I possibly can. I want to be with you guys as frequently as I can, and you doing that enables me to be able to do so. So thank you.